step up when it matters, which is huge for me. I think Infinite has had some incredible moments as well. And then we can't forget Shane and MOTM's work as well. I think the big interesting point for me is that I have not seen the elite level of Consti that I've been promised for quite some time. And, you know, I felt like his level not too long ago was pretty elite for sure. It was something that I was like, okay, maybe Consti should get a call up to a bigger roster, but that has fallen off since then. So that Slight versus Consti head-to-head is going to be a very decisively important one to decide this best of 3.
Yeah, and I think both players have struggled with inconsistency in their careers. So even though I think Consti less so, I always thought of him as like a pillar as an opper for the teams he's been on versus Slight, who's kind of been very up and down throughout his career. But yeah, we'll see. I agree with you. That's a pretty important duel. Maybe not as much on Inferno, though. Probably when we go to Dust 2, that'll be more visible, but you never know. And it looks like we're going to have an engagement already here towards Banana. Not really that much damage done. Cryptic and B-Will's 6 HP loss combined. Nothing to really sweat about. DJ, though, he'll be sweating a little bit as he's 4 players barreling down his direction. Needs to set a shot. He does. And then Sandman falls as well. So SB doing a good job pincering into that B site. They've got an attack at the bottom of Banana as well, but it's more a player waiting for rotations to come around. So they're going to take that B site, and it doesn't look like B-Wills wants to take the fight just yet.
Will flash in to actually take that duel, and B-Wills wins it out initially. So Consti hits the deck. Shane's caught in no man's land here. Still hits the Goosh and actually pushes Slight away just temporarily. So no kits here, but Cryptic and B-Wills will try their hand at coming back into the edge of B. Yeah, you gotta keep an eye out on Peeping for sure. And now that Slight's dead, it's all up to this Banana pressure. Cryptic does take out Peeping though. So now it's just these 2 players on the site. Shane has been damaged over the course of this, but there's a crossfire built up, and MOTM takes care of business himself. SBE get off on the right foot.
Yeah, that's really, really nice from SBE, and it shows you that firepower prowess that they have. They are a strong team when it comes to the mechanics, and if they can fire on all cylinders, I agree with you. Infinite had that ridiculous 4K yesterday over on Cash where he just carried the team on his shoulders. Even though they lost the map, you know, you still got those moments from multiple players in the squad. MOTM felt like he was really important for the squad, especially on map number 1 where they were dominating. But yeah, it's just about if we're going to get it again today and if the chemistry will be good enough to beat this lag squad, who I think are outgunned, right, in terms of mechanical skill. I agree with that. It's more about how the strats are going to go that's going to make the difference in my mind.
I can definitely see a world where the lag squad has more firepower on their day, but yeah, you're really not relying on that per se as the win condition. You're relying upon the chemistry that has been built, as we've kind of alluded to a number of times now. And for SBE, this round number 2 bye is a bit strange because they've both taken max damage nades between MOTM and Infinite. They still want to execute into this B bomb site. They've tossed in a bunch of utility. Boost available for Cryptic. And it's a 4-player stack. I mean, B-Wills will play ahead, but I don't necessarily know if they fancy their chances here. Consti nades open the smoke, and they realize, hey, maybe this might not be the best avenue of approach.
Yeah, but what's their choice now, right? They have 2 smokes left. There's nothing really there. Yeah, they could rotate back to A, and that might be the end result, but you won't really have that much to work with on an execute. So they realized that, I think, as they were trying to retreat, like, guys, we just got to go. And that is not good news for them because their MP9's waiting around the corner. With the time ticking down, those MP9s look more and more potent. 24 seconds. DJ's going to get a 2K. Consti and Infinite gone. MOTM and Shane, the last 2 standing. I'm not even sure they're going to go for this. Yeah, I mean, MOTM's going the opposite direction with the bomb on his back, so this is just going to end up being a save, which is super unfortunate for an SB squad that came out looking strong in that pistol.
Yeah, unfortunately, they lose to themselves there. A very straightforward call, and yeah, Shane will not even be able to hold on to that, Khalil. It's just MOTM. I'm assuming there'll be a force buy around this saved rifle just to keep the money on the same page, but the problem at this point is, I mean, you lose that round off of sheer calling. It has nothing to do with the mechanics. You walk straight into a stack and run into some severe issues. But you do also have to give a shout out to Lorgar, the official tournament PCs for StarLadder StarSeries Fall 2026. Of course, we'll still have to see that in the main event. We're still in the closed qualifier phase of the tournament. A smoke up in middle. Slight will have a chance to send that nade down range, but doesn't seem to find a target just yet.
There's a force buy for SBE. 4 techs and an AK. Would have been a Galil and an AK, but get far enough back there on that save for SBE. And B-Will's finds peeping. So that's a good opener. However, Infinite gets the trade from Bracket. DJ's lost. That's an upgrade available as well. And then Cryptic finds an 8 kill onto Shane. And all throughout that was towards B, I believe. Cryptic's, oh no, it's A, excuse me. And Cryptic's gonna get the 2K. MOTM finds the immediate trade and the follow-up. Hold on, we're on now. 2v2. B-Will flashes out, can't get the kill. Lots of damage done. Slade might finish the job here. There goes Consti. Is the bomb down? It is. MOTM doesn't have it and he won't win the fight against Slight. Oh, goodness me, Lag just barely pulling that off. SBE were so close to getting that force by round victory.
Yeah, actually, that play for peeping out on Banana baits enough of those players to come down, and it leaves the A side compromised. Infinite finds a little bit of a hole in the defense, capitalizes upon it, and they extend really well into this A bomb site, but unfortunately for them, they have to get met with that slight MP9. You know, I wouldn't even have minded them forcing into this one as well, but instead they'll take a save and look for guns in round number 5 instead, but MOTM gets a Glock headshot, and Infinite gets that Deagle singing as well, so a lot of damage done here. Guns to be recovered here on the Banana side, but they are smoked off at bottom Banana, so they can't necessarily pick that up. Infinite has also taken significant damage in the process. This will be a little difficult to figure out. Oh, chance here for Consti. Spouts ahead and picks up an MP9 as well. So a lot of space garnered here over on this half of the map. It puts a lot on the shoulders of Cryptic. Block on the other side. They should have that one dead to rights. And now it's about how to figure out where Consti's gone off to.
Well, he's waiting in the apartments right now, looking for someone to come up from boilers. Go ahead.
I think they're going to try to wrap into B here, John.
I think you're right. Yeah, I'm just analyzing the situation here. And 43 seconds left. They're going very slowly. They don't want to give away the fact that they've rotated around here. But eventually, you know, the timer in their heads for Lag, they're going to be like, okay, this is weird. 30 seconds. They're still not here. Maybe we should have a look towards the B site. But it doesn't feel like that's happening. Even with Cryptic, you know, usually pretty aware of these types of things. As the IGL, he's not going to realize at all. This is a free plan for SBE. Although Infinite's still low at 2 HP and there's still the possibility of a retake, it's nice to get that plant.
I think this is where I would have liked Infinite to get aggressive to see if he can get a jump on a player, but instead they scoop up a smoke to block off CT, and in the meanwhile, Lag decided to smoke it off themselves. There's a boost available and does catch out that low HP of Infinite. Very smartly done. It puts it all onto Consti. Huge headshot to connect against the captain. It leaves it all up to DJ, who does have a kit, does have a chance to mess with this defuse. And now Consti backs all the way up. He tries to stick it here, DJ, temporarily, and just gets off the bomb in time. Does he have enough time? It's going to be real close, but he doesn't have it. Consti plays the mind games beautifully and pieces together a beautiful 1-on-2.
Oh yeah, that's a really nice play from Consti. No question at all, as they're able to pull a round back on the SBE side on a round where, you know, they tried to use the Tech 9s to their advantage and it worked so well. Unbelievable. It wasn't even Tech 9s, it was Glock and a Deagle and then a Tech 9, an eco round that has gone their way, which is very impressive. Now Lag will still have enough money to buy, but it's not the greatest of buys. See those stake odds coming up on your screen? Pretty even here. And if you want to get in on that action, well, there's a weekly reload of $35. In order to get that, you deposit $20, use code STAR35, and you'll enjoy a daily $5 top-up for the next 7 days. No grinding, no gimmicks, just a steady reload all week long. As we go into round number 5, SBE just poking and prodding towards that B site, tossing some util in, making sure that if anyone was sandbags, they would be dead, so they know that's clear.
They do. Nobody actually at card yet. Still scaling up through the half wall. Flash here to maybe fire off a shot from Slight, but he does not do so just yet. A whole cache of utility in the CT spawn. And you would think that they just keep Slight there, but heavy rotations come over to the B side. And that's to their own demise, it feels like. I mean, SBA still have not breached looking at the bracket side of things. And Lag will stick to this gamble of boosting up B-Wills and going about it that way. But DJ and MOTM do spot each other temporarily. And maybe that goads a player over, but nobody's budging on Lag. Still 3 players here on B as the hit looks to come in with 20 seconds left.
That's not much time, honestly, for SBE. I feel like we saw similar cases yesterday on the Chicken Coop regain game. But anyway, MOTM gonna get one, Consti another. Cryptic finds one, of course, so that's gonna delay them 8 seconds. They're still not going. You guys gotta go. One shot and you're dead. I can't believe they pulled that off. I cannot believe they get the bomb plant there. That is absolutely by a hair's edge that they get through. And Consti will get the last on Sandman. SBE playing with fire, but succeeding.
I mean, the strategy itself is okay. Like, I mean, you still have like that late lurk from MOTM to basically secure the CT side of things, the CT spawn side of things. But at the end of the day, you still had Slight waiting with the AWP in dark. If he has a rifle there, there's a chance for him to swing out and deny. He doesn't have to slow peek it. He can wide swing. And the fact that he was relegated to just a sniper, I know I'm saying relegated, but in that circumstance, it is like lesser weaponry. And it could have been a completely different story. So really unfortunate that that's the way it had to go for Lag. And now they have to suffer the consequences because of that. Full save from this defense. Basically giving on over that 4th round to SBE. Do take some damage here and there. Cryptic will look to try and scoop that gun up, but the watchful eye of Shane will make sure that that is not a possibility.
Unless... yeah, no. This is unlikely for Cryptic now. Has to hit a lucky shot as he's strafing across. And eventually MOTM's going to blindside him if the bullets of Shane and Infinite don't do the job first. And it will be Shane to finish things up. SBE taking a 2-round lead and is trying to find some rhythm of their own here on this map of Inferno.
It seems like they are absolutely finding that rhythm right now. Although it's not fancy, you can definitely tell that the defaults look pretty stable. And these late round calls, while they do look a little worrisome, they're still on the same page. And I think that's what's most important, the buy-in from all 5 players in the server for this SBE squad. Now, guns do come out for Lag again. But you do not have that extra edge in terms of Slight's sniper rifle, so I'm gonna have to be a little bit more tactful with these mobile rifles. Look at Shane, very fast up the apartments, already here at a minute 20. And you can tell that Cryptic's aware of this possibility, but what more is going to come from this? Because they are looking to potentially pop out through that utility in just a little bit, but don't think better of it after that smoke pops in their face.
Nice peek from B-Wills around the half wall. He gets peeping. That's the lurk for SBE gone. So now they probably realize, okay, we just got to go. We got to execute onto this A site. Here they come. Util's out. Cryptic's waiting. Slight and DJ also here. I mean, Lag have the absolute read. Obviously, since they've gained all that information down Banana. So they're just waiting for SBE to arrive. This is very much a disadvantage for them, and the more time they take, the longer, or excuse me, the bigger the advantage will be for Lag. Infinite gonna spam through the smoke. They managed to get in towards Library. This is risky for Sandman, and yeah, Sandman's gone. So now they only have to worry about the site players. SBE doing a phenomenal job, and it's all Infinite with a 3K. He swings around and falls to DJ, but MOTM will get the quick trade. And B-Wills, the last one standing, I am a little stunned. That Lag with that setup can't hold on to the site, and Infinite just outduels them.
Well, B-Rolls is very fast on this flank. He doesn't have a kit, but that shouldn't matter if he's able to duel as fast as he can. But he uses that Molotov very quickly to give up a position. Now this crossfire gets very potent. Nobody on the side actually has to pay attention to anywhere else. And yet still, B-Rolls has an opportunity at one of those frags, but there is a surviving player at 1 HP. You got to give credit to Infinite, though. You're absolutely right. Taking down so many players with absolute ease. But the upsetting part about it for Lag is that was a lost round no matter what. Once they're able to get 2 or 3 players up the arch side basically for free, it's going to be a nightmare situation. The crossfires do just get disassembled and the crosshairs go everywhere. So poor from Lag in that sense that they're allowing so many players on that T side to come up through the arch. But hopefully this timeout will be able to fix that up. But of course, still also have to give a shout out while we have this little bit of a break to ATK Gear, who are giving away 8 gaming mice. If you click on the banner below of this channel, you can get involved. So definitely check that out. Who wouldn't want a free mouse, John?
I want one. I'd love one. My mouse is acting up. My scroll wheel just randomly scrolls sometimes. I actually need a new one.
Yeah, my right button is also gone. So hey, both of us maybe should join this giveaway.
Yeah, or just get an ATK mouse.
Yeah, that works too, isn't it? Yeah.
Man. Well, SBE are getting their move on, going towards Banana. And they will have a significant edge in this round, as Lag are only on a half buy. Peeping, along with Infinite, moving up here. Peeping, spots the body. That'll lead to likely a bit more of a commitment to try and see what else they can find here, I would imagine. But that smoke, the counter utility is good for Lag, so that'll delay SBE on their approach. And just realize the bomb is still dropped towards bottom of ramp, so this could easily be a rotation back to the A site for SBE. Nade's going to come in. Decent amount of damage to Cryptic. He's not too happy about this, down to 47 already. Let's see what SBE decide to do, pal.
Well, they've been going into these stacks once or twice now, and they've been able to deal with it on the A side. How do you deal with it on the B side when everybody's coming from Banana? Is the real question. They're going to try to clear out first and second oranges instantaneously, but they still have not dealt with this boost. Finally, I mean, someone's got to turn at some point, boys. Finally, they do. MOTM doing everything on his own. Finally, Cryptic dies. I mean, it takes so long for that to happen. And now we have ourselves a one-on-one. Shane still so aware of the possibility that it was a 5-player stack, but Slight is still on his move back. Finally, a dirt gun still gets to come out. Slight can now pick up this AK, fight straight in, but Shane nails the headshot straight away. Just a slight bit of intuition. And SB continue their winning ways with a 6th.
MOTM was standing next to a lag player for a good 3-4 seconds. Yeah. And didn't realize. I was like, wait, is that his team? That's not his teammate. It's not. And he finally realized it as well and got that little flick, but very strange circumstances in that round. Full credit to 1, MOTM, and 2, Shane, afterwards finally activating and supporting MOTM on that trade, and a slight fadeaway, a ducking fadeaway shot against DJ in order to cap that off. So, SBE, excuse me, Slight. But either way, SBE going to get their 6th. And what? That is bad. That is really bad. Under zero pressure, Peeping dies in his own Molotov, and I think it was a nade that hit him from his teammates, or maybe it was a nade from the other side.
They won the round anyway. So.
Yeah, they're still going to win. It doesn't matter. Wow.
So I think what happens there is the nade hits him. He has 1 tick left, and he dies on the last tick to his incendiary, essentially. So it looks bad on the scoreboard, but I think that was like an unavoidable death, considering he didn't know that the nade was coming. Yeah, it did feel bad, didn't it?
I mean, he was in his own Molotov too, which he didn't need to be. Like, my point is, like, I guess he was making a maneuver around. Why? Just my question is, why is he in his own Molotov in that situation? That's the only issue, I think. But outside of that, I agree with you, kind of unavoidable given where he was positioned. Either way, like you said, doesn't matter. SBE are still going to get a 7th round despite that weird series of events.
Oh, MOTM will still take away a gun here. Oh, and could have an even more juicy of a find, but Slight is able to cock that gun back one more time and live to tell the tale. But hey, SBE are running away with this one, a 7th round now. And that means that Lag are getting ready to man the panic stations, because this is going to get ugly if they can't pick up the pace right now. And this is what happens, right? When we speak about when they have to play from behind, how are they able to claw back out of it and show some mental resilience that they are capable of making the comeback?
Yeah, this is exactly what we were mentioning. We need to see Lag be a little more headstrong. That's the simple way of stating it. Need to be more resilient. And SBE, very momentum based. When they get an early lead, they usually just go right to the finish line and find a strong win for themselves. That's what I was mentioning earlier, right? Where they had 13-9, 13-5, and 13-4 on their maps that they've won. Second time they're playing Inferno. They played against Chicken Coop and they won 13-5. So it's looking very similar to that matchup.
Also have to think about that domination that they had on Nuke against Voka not too long ago. That was a well-calculated game plan that SBE had there to take them down. Oh, that's a beautiful flash, and DJ second guesses it almost, and that extra swing cost him his life. MOTM strikes first, and now Slight wants to play ahead of the utility.
No.
Might have ticked against that smoke, but thinks better of it either way. And with that, Brackets firmly in the favor of this T side, and has pushed away all these players that leave Cryptic stranded here on the back of the big pit. And he's going to have to put in a boatload of work all by his lonesome, stuck between two different angles. Slight sure has been able to find one, but another re-smoke should be able to deal with this problem. They actually don't have a smoke, but either way, once that cross comes through for that C4, yeah, it's got to be a save. But at a certain point, John, you've got to go for this, because this is now turned into an 8-round half for SBE, and this is where I gotta say enough is enough.
No, I agree. And well, the thing is, that was really well executed by SBE. They threw the smoke. They covered all their bases, knowing, okay, there could be Slight watching here from Arch. Let's get that smoke down before we take another step forward. And Slight thinks about going forward off of that smoke, but he's dead pretty much if he walks out of it. There's just very little chance of surviving, and he realizes that. The problem is you either die trying or lose the round, because Cryptic is alone against 5 players. And well, you know, the result was a round loss. I think based on their positioning, I don't think there was a recipe for victory, right? And it had to have been like a heroic, ridiculous play coming from Slight or the site anchor, and it just couldn't happen. So, round number 11, about to get underway, and SBE are just looking to build their lead even further. I wonder if they're going to buy up here. I imagine they would for Lag. And those stake odds, yep, heavily favoring SBE now. If you want to gain access to that weekly reload, just go on to stake, enter code STAR35, deposit $20, and enjoy a daily $5 top-up for the next 7 days at stake. As we go into round number 11. Oh, that's a chonky nade. That's a good start for Lag.
Start 2B and immediately decide to rebuff this A defense with a 4-player setup, and that extra nade from B-Wills actually catches out Infinite, so that's good work. It actually allows for this bracket setup to look great, but Shane's found one to maybe disassemble this setup there in apartments. But they decide to pull back and actually look at B-Wills and this B bomb site. All of a sudden, this round could still fall apart for Lag in a flash. B-Wills will have to play defensively and give over that bomb plan if I were him, and then play the post.
And that's the perfect smoke as well, so they can't really boost up and gain visibility over it. Even B-Wills here can't see much, and he breaks it open and finds Peeping. That is really good, because Peeping was the forward advanced, for the player that was advanced forward. And now B-Wills gets the last 2! Shane and Consti will fall as Lag finally get another round for themselves. It's only 3, but better than being stuck at 2.
Yeah, I think you can still make this work if you have 4 rounds. In all honesty, Inferno has leaned far more T-sided for quite some time. And to me I mean, you can just tell, right? With how tempo is easily manipulated by this offense, you're able to mess with CT gambles very easily on this map, and the CTs have no choice but to suffer the consequences. And for lag, I think in their minds, especially if they get that little bit of a momentum boost, like it helps the mental spirit a little bit more, that they can still keep their heads in it. But we'll see. A lot rides on this round as a whole. Well, Silent walk up here through brackets. This is different. Ooh. And it completely catches DJ off guard. He kind of lackadaisically checks it. Luckily, Slight is there for the trade, but they're already wrapping Arch. They're already in spawn here, John.
Yeah. B-Wills won't even realize it. Infinite gonna get headshotted. 4v2 and a 4v3 and a 4v2 as Infinite gets his 3K here. Slight and Cryptic are the last two standing, and they're over on the A site. That is wonderfully maneuvered by SBE, getting their way towards CT. Shocking lag completely with how far forward they were, and Consti peers around from the half wall, takes down Cryptic, spots Slight. They're gonna finish it off. Peeping ensures that it'll be 9-3 in favor of SBE as we head to the halftime break.
Cut to the chase. Everyone give me some space. Don't fall out, we fall into place. Every step walking with grace, amen. Keeping my foot off the brakes. Impact, I'm ready to brace. We fall down and land on our face. Just to get up and finally escape. Wait, boom, boom. Baby, I'm trying to get paid. Legends don't die in a grave. They live through the story they made, okay? Boom, boom. Baby, I'm trying to get paid. Legends don't die in a grave. Hey, legends don't die anyway. I was working on a play today. Body bags covered away. I paved, zipped up like a bathing ape. How many of us then came and stayed? Not too many. I've been staying awake to get it and get right on every mistake. I give them a bite, they taking a plate. It's all been a feeling that I couldn't shake. So I just keep killing till I'm at the gates. We straight, we treat them like we're...
All right, we're back into the swing of things here, and well, Lag aren't feeling too good. They're not feeling any swing of things. It's been very flat for them. Their feet pinned to the ground, unable to find shots or rounds. As it's going to be 9-3 for SBE at the beginning of this half. What does Lag have to do here, Paladin?
They've got to really find a way to mentally check back into this game. I think that's the number one step, just considering how some of these rounds have just fallen flat in some of these side hits. There's no pushback from some of these very dangerous crossfires. They've had the right stacks in majority of these rounds, I might add. And yet still, they come up with just 3 measly rounds on the defense. Gonna have to be a lot of work done with this mini side hit, but there's 4 players to greet them from SBE here on A.
Chain gets gushed here, and then Consti swings around with MOTM. They're getting them all. Pistol round looks like it's going to go SB's way again. Sandman and B-Wills trying to have an answer to all this, and well, they won't really get anything. Consti, along with Infinite, wrap it up with a pretty bow, and it will be another round victory for SBE. Nothing seems to have changed on the half switch.
We talk about the VRS forecast in terms of this series. Obviously, the one big repercussion is you get to stay alive in this tournament. You have more chance at gaining more VRS points. I mean, for both of these squads, for Lag specifically, they are actually under SBE in terms of VRS. They would gain 11 spots for this. For SBE, they gain 5, so still huge ramifications. Yeah, thank you, production, for pulling it up, but it's big news for both of these squads. VRS points are very hard to come by in this region, so just any chance like this is such a ripe one.
Just continuing on in the lower bracket even, right? Like just continuing to win matches, and the further you go, the better. Obviously, you know, eventually a lot of these teams will be falling off because only one is going to finish, but the longer you stay in it, the better it is for you. So we'll see which one of these two squads will do it. Like, not looking good on Inferno, but there's, you know, still 1, maybe even 2 more maps left to play. And they could even come back here. You never know. Consti, well, he's going to take care of Cryptic. In this round, I'm not seeing much, right? It's a full-on eco. DJ's going to get Consti, but that feels like it might be the only kill they'll get. A second one, perhaps. Okay, Sandman gets MOTM, but they don't have any upgrades off of those kills. And no armor.
Now. DJ should be able to scoop up an A1S. Oh, you think? I wish it was calmed over. There is one in library there, but he'll still keep the Deagle, and that'll be to his own demise. 3 people up would still be fine for SBE if you don't give another player up, and that'll be what happens. So hopefully that rifle can be recovered. 3 MP9s isn't the ideal set of weaponry I would like to pull into that situation, but hey, the fact that they can keep their economy intact is still nice. Another thing to note about the VRS is, like, if you're able to get to a point where you can either play Voca or NRG before you get eliminated, you're not going to lose as many points considering how far up the ladder they are. So that is also that extra mini goal that I think some of these teams will have. And of course, another big shout out to Lorgar again for being our official tournament sponsors with their PCs.
Into round number 15. This is a critical one for SBE. They've got the AWP, the 2 A1Ss, and the 2 MP9s to try and string around together somehow, some way. Even if it's messy, it doesn't matter. They need something here to give them some life. Consti's waiting with the op. Nade's gonna land right in front of his face. Yep, he's down to 4 HP. Oh my goodness. That is devastating. He's going to drop all of his util into the corner and get the hell out of here.
Very smart. Very smart. I mean, too many times I've seen a CT with that low HP just get obliterated out of a nade they never could have predicted would be at their feet. So, smartly dropping that cash over there. Now primed and ready over here in Coffin. Still has a chance to get a kill or two. Lag now bearing down on this B bomb site to continue to encroach space. Nobody moving, though, on the CT side for SBE. MOTM is kind of pulled over by that arch smoke, and Consti doesn't even have time to pull the trigger. A little slow there. Might have been looking at the mini-map. He leaves it all into peeping. We've got to do a hell of a lot on his own. And, of course, with flashes in his face, utility all across the shop, it's going to be a tough ask. SBE now definitely looking to save.
Yeah, it's just a good isolation again. Coming through from lag, and a big round victory that they're able to find up against this SBE squad. So yeah, SBE just gonna keep the guns that they have. It's not gonna be great. Couple of MP9s and an A1S. But lag showing signs of life with a very strong execute.
Infinite, MOTM, and Shane. Not all the guns that you would want to save in this situation, but hey, it's better than nothing. And we've seen the potency of the MP9 in players' hands like Shane. But so far, so good here for Lag in terms of the comeback. Still a lot of work to do, but winning a gun round like that in a decisive fashion's got to feel good for Cryptic, knowing that he can potentially call his way back into the series. And any consolation round that they can to make this a closer game will certainly make it feel a little bit better as we move further into map number 2 and 3.
SB trying to get a little bit aggressive over at Banana, and they're rebuffed immediately. In fact, they decide to throw a smoke down and just retreat and give up the space. They're going to leave Infinite behind, anchoring down the site, but everyone else I thought was going to stack A, but no, they changed their mind. Beeping, rotates back to support this B site. And Lag don't want to commit either. So both teams just tossing a bunch of utility in Banana, but not committing any long-term presence in that direction. Slight will lurk around at the very least. But this type of setup, to me, looks like Lag want to hit the A site and leave Slight behind to catch rotations.
Certainly so, and maybe even look at Slight to toss some utility in the late round. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness, great idea there from Slight, but just misses the timing to capitalize on the kill. Damage exchanged between MOTM, but that flash actually gives a lot of info over to MOTM. Maybe that you call the rotation on yourself right now, and he is. leading there swiftly. 35 seconds left on the clock, so eventually he's going to get a move on. He's seeing that library, the wrap is all completely clear, so now he can gun it back in. Peeping and Infinite, though, are going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting. Infinite getting burned down at 32, does find dirt at that point. Trades look good, and looks even better for Lag. MOTM has made it to coffins at this point. Cannot convert the frag. Great work there from Cryptic, defending his bomb planter on the escape. And now it's another save for SPE, and Lag decided to crawl back into this game just a little bit more.
Yeah, this is pretty good. This is going to lead to probably a follow-up round, you'd imagine, because SPE forced up in this one, so they have to go for a Nico. They can't just keep forcing back-to-back unless there's a justification for it. And the only justification would be is if Lag has one player or no players left on the board right now, which they have 4. So you just got to work with what you've got, go for that eco, and not try to rush things. And I think another reason not to rush things is that you have a 7-round lead, or now 6-round lead. It's a lot. You got to use that advantage that you have and nurse it.
At this point, your objective isn't necessarily to like come up with some brilliant tapestry of a defense where you're learning how to adapt and things like that. You just got to get the 2 rounds by hook or by crook. Whether it's with the pistols in close range situations, you have that close range apartment setup, or maybe you play up against the half wall, whatever it takes. And of course, you still want to get involved in this series. 1 to 10 odds. Weekly reload of $35 is available to you guys at home. Use the code STAR35. Out of mollies, incendiaries, in terms of that B banana position, but Shane's getting active with that saved rifle. Big kill to find, start putting pressure, but he's been wrapped. I don't know how Cryptic has gotten here, but he has. And MOTM, I guess, is the only guy can really deal with it.
Yeah, I think MOTM pushed mid, and there was no one else to help out for Shane to watch apartments, and that's why he gets wrapped there. Thing is, you have A at this point. If you're if you're Lag, why are you even towards the B site? Oh no, they could be in trouble. I don't think they're gonna have any clue that MOTM's here. Oh my goodness, and he hears everything. MOTM pops up and gets 1. That could have been worse. It's still a man advantage and a gun available here for SPE. Lag are kind of scrambling, where are they? I don't know what to do. Where do we lock into? And B-Wills has decided that he's gonna stick around balcony. Now peers into Boiler, but Peeping's looking there. Now the timing favors B-Wills quite a bit. He pops out, gets the job done on 1, and then Peeping goes down ahead of him. He is lucky Cryptic takes care of Peeping because he would have been blindsided there. So back and forth we go. Ends up being a man advantage in favor of Lag after the dust settles.
That could have been so much worse for Lag. I mean, it's a second earlier. That Slight with the bomb likely going down. And, I mean, a second later for that wrap in through Boiler, that's probably another player dead or at least traded there. But now, MOTM making significant noise on the balcony to pick up that AK means Lag cut this lead to 5. And Infinite would certainly like to scoop up a gun before this is all over. And instead he will die, so... I don't know. I don't know if that was worth it. I really don't.
I would say don't shoot, but he didn't realize they weren't even looking at him, right? Like, you can just try to slowly walk away, and if you have to shoot, you shoot, but that's a real big disadvantage. I would even go under balcony in that instance, just slowly walk closer, because that's the best point of escape. Anyway, it's a shame. No AK saved over. What isn't a shame, guys, is that there's an ATK gear giveaway for 8 gaming mice. If you want to grab one of those or get a chance at it, click the banner below the stream. Just scroll down, click that banner to enter the giveaway. Firing off a lot of shots, gets the first. It's one of the rare openers here in this second half for SPE, but he is traded immediately. So they lose the presence on Banana, do SPE.
And now you're going to start to see some of the struggles SPE are going to have in this mid-round on a 4-on-4. They will gamble still 3A, and they'll basically say, Infinite, you've got to puff your chest as much as possible. Suggest that there's 2 players here. But even when there are 2 players on this B bomb site, they haven't been able to hold strong enough. So this is something that Lag still want to look into, this B bomb site. MOTM is making that rotation slowly across the speedway, but Infinite is going to really have to time this incendiary. Drops it now. And a tick made, 2 ticks made. He's got to know that there's so many players across to the other side. And Infinite still finds a little bit of a safe haven here on second oranges. Cryptic finally shoots him through the wall, but TM behind can play the spam angle. B-Wills actually does find one straight through the smoke. So man advantage here for a lag. But here comes MOTM straight through the smoke, denies the plant, and he finds Cryptic, head on a swivel. Immediate 90-degree turn, leaves it all onto Slight in the 1-on-2. 25 seconds left on the clock. How do you piece this together if you're an opera in this situation? I couldn't tell you. He's got a little bit of room to work with and is aware of the possibility of a player in coffins. Spots out ahead, just wants to confirm that angle, finds it, swings over to New Box and cannot confirm the kill. MVP goes to the man of the match.
Yep, MOTM doing fantastic work. That flashbang could not have been more perfect, and he set it up for himself and gets a nice first one, but then the flick on the second is even better because he's caught off guard a little bit, and there you go. MOTM, even finding that last, as you can see again here. And it's 12-6 for SBE. He has been huge for them. 20 frags on the board, leads the entire server. And behind him is Infinite at 16, who's also had some key moments. But, you know, that 1-2 punch of MOTM and Infinite, which we have seen on occasion throughout this closed qualifier, is really having a major impact now. All right, SBE have got 6 opportunities to close out this map and send us to Dust2. Consti?
A lot of banana control here. And that means Consti can basically have this angle for free, but he is flashed off, and I guess a shoulder was spotted there. Trigger discipline here from Peeping. He spots 3 different bodies. Now he's got to let loose, and he finds 2. Make it the 3rd. Beautiful sequence there from Peeping, making the long-range MP9 look so good. It leaves it all up to Sandman and Cryptic here in the 2-on-3, and Sandman's made a lot of pressure up on this A lane, but the flash in his face and the bullets in his face as well makes this one a nightmare. Leaves it all up to Cryptic, and he can't get done either. Domination here from SBE, 13-6 here on Inferno.
Yeah, there was no coming back from that for the side of lag. SBE really were too strong. They did show signs of life on the second half, did lag, and even getting that 3rd round in the first half, there's something for them.
In the day after, like in the morning or something like that, but I don't necessarily think that many of these guys have the time to do that. So I'm not even going to really say that they've just gotten it all figured out. I would argue that they're only able to do that from tournament to tournament, and they just haven't had the opportunity yet. So for me, there's got to be something radically different here for SBE's approach on the defensive side to start things out if they want to see if they can get this done in 2. And I'm sure in their minds they would like to get this done in 2 and ignore the possibility of a pretty contentious nuke that would wait in the wings.
In fact, SB actually picked into Dust2, right? Up against Chicken Coop. And they started on T side and got the first 3 rounds. And what I was going to say was maybe if they get, a pistol and they can convert off of it, they'll get some momentum. But clearly that's not the case, at least on Dust2. Or it wasn't against Chicken Coop. Maybe it changes, like we said, but they haven't had much time to review the tape, given that we're just playing back-to-back days of Counter-Strike right now. Shane gonna get one. Cryptic finds the trade onto Shane, but Peeping swings around, deals with Slight back and forth. We continue to go, though, and it looks like it'll be more forth towards lag as Cryptic ensures that Peeping will not take another step into this round. Infinite and MOTM, wow, MOTM finds DJ. They continue to go blow for blow, and the bomb still has not been planted. They fake the plant. Cryptic doesn't hit the shots, but Sandman will. A 2K for Sandman as lag win the pistol.
It was all a ruse. I mean, Sandman never actually did get on the bomb, and with that, they were just waiting for these players to breach it. They see that big box player, they turn all their attention, assuming that the plant is still occurring. Sandman has not fired off a bullet, and that's when he can strike, get 2 free ones right on a silver platter, and lag get exactly what they're looking for, their first pistol in the series, and now looking to build upon that success. It's just a solo scout from Peeping, who has not had that great return to form in this series specifically, as we have seen in the tournament. But hopefully this is just an outlier of a map when we talk about Inferno.
Peeping. Well, that's not going to happen this round as he gets riddled with bullets from Sandman's AK. Lag will take the 2-0 lead. Nuke will be the final map of the series should we get there. And, you know, talking about the issues, of course, that SB have had on Dust2, perhaps that will be the case. But what is definitely the case is Lorgar providing the official tournament PCs here for StarLadder StarSeries Fall 2026 once we get to the main event. So a huge thanks to Lorgar for ensuring that the FPS will be top-notch for all the players that make it to the finals. All right, Infinite. Gonna be going there. Looking for some shots. Consti gets it onto Cryptic. That's a good start for SBE into the round 5v4.
And long control, more importantly, so Lag should have a little bit more of a difficult time to get back into this one. They do have themselves the base of Catwalk here. They should have Cat for free if they decide to use a little bit of utility to get there. And yeah, DJ will confirm that. But where do you go from here if you're Lag? You do give away some significant sound cues. Consti's got another molly that he can use. And this jump up that does allow Infinite a free kill, you'd like to think, but 2 HP remains for Sandman, who's having a great start to this Dust2.
Yeah, Infinite should have closed that. Almost certainly. He wants it back, you know that. 44 seconds left on the clock for Lag to make their move now. Sandman is still very much walking wounded, and Peeping and Consti could easily find him, so he's going to have to rely on his teammates to do a lot of the heavy lifting and absorb the damage as he's going to be on that flank. But nope, he actually goes down before the rest of his team actually gets forward. So it's a 4v3 for SBE. Consti has to move. He does. Down to half health. MOTM found. 3v3. They swing around. Consti can't do much, but Peeping gets two. Pops up again and finds the third. You talked about Peeping not doing that well in Inferno and it being a one-off. Maybe that is the case as he pops off here to ensure SB get on the board.
It's funny because the ticks from the molly on Consti, it actually baits everyone on Lag to just turn all their attention to Goose. And even that like secondary tick that happened after it spread a little more, it just helped Peeping out so much. And the MP9 is ruthless at that range. Just mows down two, and then the completion just ADing for the third. And now Lag will have to definitely work for bouncing back in this map of Dust2. And having Peeping come back into form is certainly something to be worried about if you are a Lag fan. We've got such a valuable position here off of Catwalk. Playing in tandem here with Modem. So far, nothing to be seen except a sliver of Consti's head, and Slight capitalizes on that and then some.
Infinite. Quiet so far. We'll hit that first, then the second. They come in bunches sometimes. And that is the case for Infinite here. And of course, Peeping in the previous. Just like that, the tables are turned on Lag. And the man advantage lies in SB's favor. They keep trying to fight Infinite. Not a good idea. There's three. Finally, Slight will get the trade. But Sandman could be soon to follow in the footsteps of his teammates. Maybe not. Sandman gets two. Forget what I'm talking about. Sandman and his other plans. Peeping. Now the last one available. Oh my goodness! What a shot at the Slight! And Peeping clutches the 1v2! Crazy shot, threading the needle on a jumping Slight, and then gets the last as well. Oh my goodness, Peeping.
Oh man, I mean, that's exactly what you're looking for if you're an SBE fan. I mean, holy. Just crisp as ever. And you spoke about the struggles. And of course, he's had some struggles across his previous teams, but it feels like he's locked in a place now. Map winner already in favor of SBE, and if you want to get in on that action, weekly reload of $35 available to you with code STAR35. So be sure to check that out as this best of 3 in today's games of Counter-Strike rage on. Spacey now out mid here for Lag as he tried to battle up against Peeping yet again. The spray's a little shoddy though, and he's relegated to only one.
Lag have to be careful about their approach here. There's no smokes, so you're wary of the possibility of the rifle or even the op, of course, just cutting you down. And a cat approach is probably the best bet, given the lack of utility. And, well, even then, Infinite spots out Cryptic around the edge of the smoke. Nade goes in. I'll do a little bit of damage. B was just tickled for 5 HP. He will continue his trek down Cat, because they don't really have a choice. Infinite's going to get Sandman. Consti finds the last two with the AWP, and just like that, SBE have got the lead.
And a little bit of a confidence booster there for Consti, who has been struggling on hitting the tough shots and some of the easy shots occasionally. So, I mean, just even though it's against pistols, it just, you know, warms up the wrists a little bit more, that you're hitting those flicks just a little bit more consistently off that ramp. That is the most common space that you're going to be as an operator. It's either that or that long corner. So, just getting into the swing of things here is the SBE Opper. And the guns do come back out now for Lag.
What? Whoa. Okay.
Okay.
Slight just got two. I thought there was only one in the vicinity, but didn't realize there was another player behind him. So Peeping and Shane both gone. Lag getting a bit of a gift there. See if they can capitalize on it. Man advantage and damage done to MOTM. SBE have Infinite, who's just hugging the double doors in mid right now. Maybe beyond them. Doesn't want to commit. He's just listening to see what he can hear. Consti's already spotted a player and hits the shot on B-Wills, evens out the numbers, and isn't in a position to be traded either. MOTM is actually hunting for another one, and Infinite the same. Both playing around mid. Slight comes back to get two. And now a man advantage gain for Lag again. Smoke broken open by Consti. Doesn't see anything. Slight gets the cover in time. Flashbang won't do much to him either, and Consti's in a very difficult spot. In fact, he may just opt to save unless a player gives away his life for free or makes an ill-advised play, which Lag are not going to do.
Yeah, unfortunately, too far away is Consti. He's had some nice moments so far, but Slight, man. Two beautiful sequences to get a quick two-piece on both sides. And this Lag squad desperately needs a hero after the calamity that was Inferno. He will go down to the hands of Consti's op. So, all's well that ends well for SB in some ways, considering there's going to have to be 4 different rebuys on the other side of this. SB still have some cash to splash, considering now Consti was able to hold on to that AWP. So this is a chance for SB to twist the knife and broaden a potential lead if they're able to grab this one.
Absolutely, yeah. And the buy-up's going to be fairly nice. MOTM, maybe a little limited. Yeah, only gets the A1S, no utility. But still, it's full guns up for SBE. Flashbang toss for long, and Lag are going to just walk out there. Nice spam from Infinite, but he's the one who takes more damage than he doles out. Down to 12 HP, and he cannot go for an aggressive peek like that again. So he's going to play passive. Look at Consti! He was pushed all the way up mid to get that kill. Cryptic gone, and Consti, like a thief in the night, all the way back towards safety into A.
And now we can play that long line from site to the other end of long. And with that little lapse in timing, Lag say we don't want anything to do with this. They're gonna go all the way back into upper tons and see what they can do to see if they can get into this B-bomb site. Shane's turn to put up a clinic, and he's had some Herculean anchor moments so far in this tournament, and they're going to require his services just a little bit longer. Luckily, MOTM is on the way, and Infinite's got a lower tunnels flank brewing as well. So Lag are getting boxed in, whether they know it or not. They have 40 seconds left to complete this, but the bomb has been dropped right behind them. They've got to go recover that package, so this execution can't even come to fruition.
Wow.
As Shane and MOTM have a perfect crossfire built here on this B bomb site. And that is that back-breaking round that SBE was looking for.
Yeah, Infinite doing a great job getting into those lower tunnels, finding all that space slowly but surely. And once he gets that player and drops the bomb, they have to double back. It messes up all the momentum going into the site. And then after that, after burning those precious seconds off the clock, they go in only to find 2 more SBE members with a beautiful crossfire from Car and Sight. So SBE take that slight edge in terms of a 1-round lead. Lag don't have the money to go for a full buy, but they will invest into a scout and a deagle. That's it though. No armor, no util. Peeping under pressure. Peeping's under pressure and he's gone. That's a rifle on the ground. Obviously Lag are very wary about going to try and pick it up because they don't have any smokes. So they will just fall back, unable to recover it, and have to continue working with what they brought into this round. Shane gets the smoke ready. And he's going to toss. Has to be careful here because he get clipped if he's not careful. There we go. Spam from Shane's AK will get 3 and MOTM with 2. No fuss, no muss there for the side of SB. You lose 1, it's okay. You got a 3K and a 2K spray down.
Yeah, one poor jiggle on that upper tunnels angle, and it's actually round over. I mean, very lucky to be alive from Cryptic Scout. Just missing the mark there, and then once he gets the smoke down, it's everything coming up SBE. And you know, if you want to have everything come up your way, ATK Gear is giving away 8 gaming mice. So hit the banner below and get involved in all the action. Plenty of activations here for you, and it's aggression here for SBE up through the lower tunnels. Keeping his unrelenting, chasing down Cryptic, but he has no idea that there's a second player. And somehow Sandman isn't trading at all. Finally, it is dealt with. That baits in MOTM. It's a very odd situation there for SBE, and I think this is just one of those rounds that you'll want to forget.
They overheated. They overheated in that round and kept going for aggression, aggressive plays, one after the other. MOTM, for, I guess, for whatever reason, thought that peeping, having escaped from upper tunnels, meant that no one was there, so he didn't clear the angle, and he gets taken down very handily, and after that it's just a bit of a mess from SBE as they continue to try and take those fights and failed. Infinite, last one available, will be trying to save the M4, but Lag have got a 4th round, and they're hanging in there here on this map.
Certainly are, John. I would like to take this gun away from Infinite. And if Infinite can hold on to this, I mean, that's a healthy purchase for all 5 of these players moving forward. But it's going to be a tough duel against Sandman. Sandman spotted him all at his feet, but there are going to be so many T's on the other side. Probably have some players drop down from Cat side as well. So this guy is a dead man walking. Oh, nice to get a couple there, but DJ will find the killing blow. So you might have one concession here for this SBE squad, and money has really just been an issue for both of these squads, walking on a tightrope for quite a bit of time. So it's made things really competitive, but also very nerve-wracking. No team can really take a breath of relief as far as this half is concerned.
All right. Lag already taking the space in lower tunnels. No presence at all for SBE up mid. Instead, Infinite pushed very far down along long. In fact, in the long house, where he waits to greet an unsuspecting Lag member. And of course, he'll have that shadow advantage should anyone decide to approach. B Wills in the meantime, looking around mid, doesn't see anyone, but he's still cautious. Like, he's thinking, well, they've been here a lot. It's strange that no one would be there at all. So he backs off, and looks like they're going to be content going for a cat approach instead, which is pretty much what SBE wants.
Certainly so. They're geared up for that, but they're still willing to stall things out as well. So Incendiary comes up to stall things out on Cat, and Lag will now make their move, at least consider their options. It to B is a possible route, but it seems like a B split seems more likely. There comes that lurk smoke up on Cat to keep Consti's attention, but Peeping's got to make the rotation eventually, and he's still not moved out of the CT spawn. They need to open that smoke to realize what's going on. 20 seconds left on the clock, and Lag are going to have to go through this smoke.
Trying for the flashbangs here. Crossfire's up. A great flash thrown by Slight. It helps both Beebles and Cryptic take care of business. 4v3. Time is ticking. Ooh. 6 seconds left. Peeping could deny this if he gets the bomb planter, but he can't, as Sandman will put him down, protecting his teammate very well. Infinite and Consti are in no position to go for a retake, so Lag have done enough. Will be a fifth for them as they tie up the scoreline.
Look at what that does to the money. Again, we talk about how razor thin the margins are in this game. And at the tail end, Lag have a real opportunity to seize the lead. If they can really cross their T's and dot their I's. Infinite will be able to hold on as maybe you can scoop away a gun. No, not now. Oof. Really dancing with death here are some of these Lag players. And same goes for Infinite. I don't know why he's necessarily there in that situation either, but it works out. 2 guns are saved over. Some pistols should be bought around it. But Stake still favors SBE. If you don't agree with that, if you agree with that, either way, want to get involved, that weekly reload of $35 using code STAR35 will allow you to get involved. So check that out in your free time. A boost here for Consti. And I don't necessarily like the CT boost. I'm okay with the T-sided boost there on Suicide, but definitely not the CT version.
Yeah, that one's a little more risky. A lot more risky, in fact. And because someone could just be waiting and watching, and then it's just an easy flick. It's not really surprising. Either way, Infinite. Whoa! We'll flick around to get B-Wills. I thought B-Wills had the advantage there, but now Infinite will go down to 15 HP. Tosses a nade in. That'll do a little bit of damage. Slight gets away from the majority of it. And a flashbang thrown in afterwards. And a nice swing from Peeping after Infinite throws a flash of his own. DJ gone. And Slight has another look, but there's nothing to be found anymore. Lower tons taken up by MOTM. Maybe that'll catch Lag sleeping a little bit. Shane will fall with the deagle in his hands towards mid, and now the smoke can be thrown. And there's MOTM. Did he get spotted? He did. Yeah, he did. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Timing for MOTM is off, and now it's up to Peeping and Infinite, and well, only Infinite, because Peeping just got caught looking the wrong way. Sandman, a freebie.
Excuse me. Oh my goodness. The problem is I feel like the pistol players played a little too aggressive there. I think once you've got lower tunnels control, you've got to hold on to it for the rest of the round. I'm not necessarily sure what else MOTM could have done. I mean, at the end of the day, it was probably a miscomm or a mistiming per se. But Lag essentially see the 2 rifles on A. Once that op fires off from Peeping and say, okay, there's literally no threat on this side of the map. That's where you got to lay the honeypot out and potentially goad them into a stack, but it doesn't come together. And Lag will win their 6th round. So guns again here for SBE, and I think in their minds, a tie scoreline would not be bad after how topsy-turvy this half has been.
I don't know. SB, we've talked about their struggles on Dust2 and how they look a little bit disjointed on the map, and that seems to be happening again here. After a very nice start, Lag have recovered very handily, and SBE have looked flat. Like you said, a tied scoreline wouldn't be bad for them, but I'm not sure we're going to get there. Cryptic finds the opener, Sandman the flashbang to support his IGL. And quickly, this long control is gobbled up by Lag. They will continue moving in. Lurking around is B-Wills in the B tunnels.
This is a easily convertible round now for Lag with all this space that they've garnered on long. They can toss in the smoke close range. They've got a flash as well if they want to take a duel. Constantly and MOTM do have themselves cat control, but I mean they're essentially gifting over this bomb plant because Lag have done this completely silently. Sandman will find it, but whoa, what a shot there from Consti. Does ease up the pressure just a little bit. Takes a little bit of damage as well off the Molotov at his feet, but this 4-on-4 retake is definitely on. B-Will's got to hustle over to help support his teammates.
Consti's waiting with the AWP from Cat. Flashbang blinds him slightly, but in the meantime, he's just waiting for his teammates to come in. However, bomb is ticking away. Eventually, you have to get a move on. Consti's the only one with a kit right now. Watches with the op. Eventually has to move to the bomb site. He falls to Sandman. It's a huge kill. Peeping somehow hits Sandman, backing up from CT. But then he gets the second on the Cryptic. He's the last one available, and there's no time anyway. Bomb's gonna explode. He falls to the ground thanks to B-Wills, and it will be a 7-5 lead for Lag as we head to the halftime break. All right, we're back. Getting ready for the second half. Lag with a very nice recovery. After losing most of the opening rounds, they managed to get 7, a lead into this second half. After losing pistol is mighty fine. And now they're going to look for even more here, maybe even a pistol round of their own.
Certainly gonna need it. Split pistols, bring it down to a 7-7 game. Lag though, pretty stock standard pistol. Very safe, very defaulty, and a lot of room given over to SBE. This P250 from Shane, if he can get into pit, can really go off the rails. They do find Cryptic and he just gets eviscerated. Shane doesn't even have to get into pit. He'll win the duel outright. And now it's Slight's turn to take a stand. Multiple players on the other side of the corner, and he does win the fight against the P250 of Shane, but only goes 1 for 1. Now it's Sandman's turn to take some fights. And Infinite, in the meantime, doing some great job lurking over in the mid, and now both of these players have been noted. B-Wills coming up from CT, and Sandman from the catwalk. How do they piece this together, SBE? They're losing bodies all over the shop. Peeping has got to find something, and same for MOTM, but neither can connect any of these bullets. Still no kit involved though, so it's MOTM's job to now stall for time.
Oh, and that's going to help a lot. MOTM gets the headshot onto Sandman. B-Wills throws a flashbang in desperation. He has to stick this soon. He's going to run out of time. In fact, I think he already has. He's got the kit, but he has to get back to the site and he can't. Oh my goodness, he picked it up, but it was just impossible to get back to the bomb site in time. And SBE will get the round victory, and B-Wills doesn't even survive the pistol.
I think you would have liked to have had that armor saved over to the next round, but yeah, this is a problem when you give the T side just so much room over on long, and it's basically the direct counter that PTs have is they're hoping, okay, it's USPs versus Glocks, we've got the long range advantage, but what negates that completely is the P250 on the other side. So great work from Shane to cut one down, and from there on out, you could just that slow crawl, that slow build up that always is going to favor that T side. Just the first line out from Lag, and Flight has given a freebie onto Consti. And does prime SB to speed things up here on long. Scouts now are going to have to go to work.
I mean, they really can too, right? Like, can just keep firing away, getting tag after tag, and SBE will just have to absorb that damage. They're tanking it for now, but eventually something's got to give, right? Maybe not. MOTM sprays down DJ. Cryptic, there we go. Headshot onto Peeping, or shot onto Peeping, excuse me. Infinite, going up with his teammates. That smoke actually isn't that great for Lag. It gives a lot of space to SBE to move into the site, but in the end, it will be Beetle striking Infinite down. MOTM continues to do some work here. It's going to need to be a little bit more to succeed. And actually, the Molotov does the work for him. Slight steps into it a little too far. Down to a 2v2. MOTM on for the ace, and he gets it! The ace comes through. It was down to the 1v1, but MOTM is again the man of the match.
I mean, some huge rounds from MOTM, and we spoke about at the very beginning of the tournament how much of a move like this is going to affect the stability of SBE, and you bring him in for these very situations. When you need a big multi-kill round out of your veteran, you get it. And I mean, this is the smallest of windows for MOTM to nail that shot, right? I mean,
yeah.
A couple of seconds and Cryptic can dive down, put his head down, and reset the fight altogether. So huge work there from Modem. Of course, huge work from our sponsors of Lorgar, the official tournament PC. So big thank you over to them as well, as SBE start off the proceedings here in round number 15 with a banger from Peeping.
Yeah, and this is another force buy coming through from Lag, so they will, excuse me, be on a save in the next round should they lose here, but that's not the plan. Makes sense to go for the force buy, of course, given that it was down to only MOTM at the end of the previous round. MOTM, what are you going to do? You got another one? Yes, he does! He'll continue rolling along here. 6th frag over the last 2 rounds. He's going to have to face off with Cryptic if he decides to continue this trek towards A. Although, I feel like the rest of the squad is waiting to see what they're going to find around mid to determine their actual final approach. Consi's got a push here coming in his way, and he will get that freebie onto DJ. Well, I say it's free. He takes a lot of damage, but he has the advantage. Sandman, in the meantime, gets one and a dink on the second, but it's one of the healthy players, and that's not going to be enough. Cryptic, last one standing.
Has to save. SBE look to reclaim the lead, and maybe Cryptic might not even be able to hold on to this gun. Trying to clear out the catwalk, and it's MOTM yet again. Big impact on another multi. And that is the money snapped. And this is where we call into question of that mental fortitude of Lag. You've lost a foothold in this game, and now you're asked upon your own map pick to dig deep and claw back in this series. And also, SBE are given a chance to believe, right? Like, they weren't ever in a position like this in the previous 2 Dust2s that they've played here in StarLadder StarSeries, North American Closed Qualifier. So now they've got 8. They're like, okay, well, this is winnable. We've got an opportunity here to end this in 2. But that is not good for MOTM. He finally falls. Great flashbang from B-Wills, but they commit 2 players to that push. And now B-Wills actually falls. He's trying to retreat back towards A. SBE will take the space. Likely a bomb plant. This is just the eco round for Lag, so expect it to go SBE's way. But at the same time, there's an AK in DJ's hands. And he will get the frag through the smoke. Going for another one here. It would be a tall ask, but not impossible now for Lag to pull this off. Certainly not.
They're backing off, though. I understand it.
I mean, it's unconfirmed damage,
Exactly.
right? You don't necessarily know, and that's the main issue. Slight's having a look-see. Of course, with him, this is a disposable gun. For DJ, it's not, and Slight won't be able to find anybody. So, triple for Shane. SB pull this lead even greater to 2. But there's a lot of size of relief here for SportsBetExpert that may avoid a calamitous affair and then some.
Mm-hmm. Without a doubt. As soon as DJ got that, I was like, okay. They're going to push, but no. He just didn't believe enough. But do you believe enough? Maybe you would go for a pick of lag if you went on stake. And if you do, make sure you use code STAR35 to get access to that weekly reload. You just have to deposit $20, use that code STAR35, and enjoy a daily $5 top-up for the next 7 days. There's no grinding, no gimmicks. It's just a steady reload all week long at stake. All right, Slight with the AWP, staring down the barrel towards the upper tunnels.
All the way up in a catwalk. Infinite with an opportunity to lay claim to this important part of the map. And with that, no real utility that can be used this early from lag to fight back. They don't have the bodies either. So Infinite has free reign to take that space. They did open the smoke to duel against DJ, but neither one of these teams actually draw blood. So instead, they take their attention and they turn it to long, where Cryptic resides alone and without really any support. He can call for a flash from this position, and DJ's considering about re-clearing it with him, but they're going to go ahead of that. Cryptic now has got to stand and deliver. He finds one, and he finds a quick two-piece as well, and in all that interim, DJ's able to rotate as well, so this dry affair to get up Cat, or Long rather, gets completely stifled by the captain and his trusty soldier.
Kind of a bonus round there for SB, all things considered, though. They were carrying some guns through for a decent amount of time. There was an MP7 for peeping, and still, you know, SMGs being in the mix is not necessarily the greatest thing, but something else that's good to be in the mix of is a giveaway for some ATK gear. 8 gaming mice are available and up for grabs, but in order to gain access to them and a chance at them, you scroll down on your screen right now, click on the banner below the stream, the ATK Gear banner for the giveaway, and enter it for your chance to win one of those 8 mice. All right, we go on. Lag trying to tie up this match again, but SBE will be fully locked and loaded this time with the 4 AKs in the op, but it doesn't matter for Consti. He's going to get dropped by Slight again, and Slight is gaining that opper's advantage up against his counterpart.
Well, fast moves to try to counteract that. Brazen from Infinite to come back in the mid. EB's called for a flash and he's gotten up the catwalk. It should be calmed over for lag, but I set for SBE to maybe pounce on the mid to B split. Cryptic will play ahead of this. Smoke doesn't waterfall perfectly, so Infinite will not have a look in. Oh, but Cryptic's watching it. He's watching it the whole way through. And they wanted to slink up this catwalk, but it isn't to be. They've only got 1 smoke left, and they've got 45 seconds on the clock. So they'll move back over. They'll have their chance to go at Cryptic again, but this time DJ's also in the window to set up a little bit of a crossfire. So a really difficult task here for SBE to potentially get themselves a 10.
It's a failed smoke break from Cryptic, and even that one not that great. Did he get the spot? He might have. He might have seen the head, but he's got another nade. There's 3 available. Let's see when he throws this. Decides not to. Goes for the straight fight. Loses it. Sandman, though, pops around with DJ. They get a couple. It's off to MLTM. 1v3 clutch required. 14 seconds on the clock. But there's just no time, you'd imagine, right? There's the first 9 seconds now. No second. Even if he gets that, he has to grab the bomb, go find a way to plant it, or just straight up win the last duel. It would have been very difficult. So, yeah, Lag are going to tie it up again.
I was believing, man. I really was. That was a stellar shot. I mean, he actually couldn't even believe it. You could see the way he was moving his crosshair. He was like, okay, I mean, it was kind of like a speculative burst, and I found it. Now what? But unfortunately, brain and the hands weren't actually keeping up in step with one another. And MOTM cannot convert it. Peeping back to his scouting escapades. It is the only real gun in this round for SBE. But Lag with an opportunity to rip it back. You know, we've had a lot of back and forth games in this tournament, but this one feels like both of these teams playing at a higher level. It's not like mistake prone necessarily. It's just blow for blow, pound for pound, what we're looking for in an elimination game.
Up for Lag, the opposite for SBE, but Peeping has the scout, and Lag don't want to take the fight up close and personal over at Cat. And you can't blame them because those pistols can really tear you apart if you give them the opportunity. Cryptic waits patiently, biding his time. The snake in the grass on the site. DJ doing the work up front. Cryptic pops up and gets himself a couple as well after DJ falls. And now it'll be Shane and Consti who are ripe for the picking, and Cryptic cruises to a quad kill. Lag have got the lead.
What a time for that lead to come back into their favor. 3 rounds away from forcing us to nuke, putting all the pressure back into SBE's side of the court. When you talk about players that are stepping up, Cryptic himself doing it with a 3-digit DAR and 20 kills to his name, dragging this roster, kicking and streaming potentially to that 3rd map. Flashes all over the shop though. Oh my goodness, Cryptic still manages to find one blind. Yeah. And now in a 4-on-4, Peeping should have a gun now to scoop up. What is the response here from Lag in this man-even situation?
Hold their ground, it seems. Peeping will be around this corner very shortly at Cat. DJ's going to be tested. Is there a flashbang? There isn't. This is just going to be a straight duel. It's a matter of when, not if. Peeping for the time being is just waiting to see if someone's going to get a little too antsy and go for a push and overlook him, which is possible. DJ slowly but surely inching forward, but it feels like he's going to clear this. DJ, yeah, he's hard clear. Yep. Peeping, no chance at all. 4v3 for Lag, and now SBE could be walking to their own demise up long.
Oh no! How is that a miss? So much room now given over by that slight miss. Couldn't tell you how he missed there. Consti will have a look in. That incendiary does miss the mark. I guess he was trying to aim for the site proper. Bomb still hasn't made it across, and that makes things a little precarious. Shane now, the last one alive, and Lag get by. It's really, I gotta give the MVP there to DJ, the wherewithal to hard clear and cut off that cat lurk as soon as possible, and knowing that a long crawl was coming on the other side of things as well.
It's not, you might think, oh, it's the obvious play, you gotta hard clear that. Not always, you know, a lot of players won't expect it and will look towards lower before checking that out, but no, I'm not DJ. He'll take care of business. And even gets one towards that sight hit on A. Nice recovery from Lag, supporting their opper. You know, slight misses a shot. Like, don't worry, we've got this. They take care of business. See those stake odds coming through. And again, guys, you want that weekly reload? Well, just deposit $20 on stake. Activate with code STAR35, the $35 bonus, and you'll enjoy a daily $5 top-up for the next 7 days. That's, again, at stake. All right. We go into it. Oh, another miss from Slight. Not the greatest situation, but B-Wills does still get the opener, and he recovers to find MOTM afterwards. This is the buy round, folks, for SBE, and should they lose here, it'll be 12-9 for Lag, and a 3rd map will become almost an inevitability. And yep, there we go. DJ continues to do work here. It's all up to Consti, and DJ will get the last as well. Lag push SBE to the limit here on Dust2.
And unfortunately, this feels like the end of the line for SBE. It feels like they've run out of gas in the tank. The playbook has run dry. They're resorting to strategies that feel very rinsed and repeated. Nothing really that jumps and pops off the page. And they'll have to do it with not a lot of utility. Sure, they've got the guns, but mechanically it feels like Lag have stepped back up off the back of Cryptic's individual brilliance. And for SBE, never mind, they don't want to go towards Nuke, but at the rate at which this is going, and at the rate at which Cryptic is playing, they might not have a choice.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know if they'd mind it, right? They beat Coca and chicken coop so far here, right? Nuke pretty handily, but at the same time, I understand what you're saying. They'd rather win right here and avoid a map 3, but that doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Slight gets Shane, only 3 players left for SBE, and 2 of them are already wounded, 1 severely, and MOTM down to 16 HP. 1 minute remains on the clock. MOTM and Infinite are moving up. They're just gonna try and take mid and hope for the best, but it is not working out at all. They don't have the smoke. Cryptic takes advantage of that. Infinite looks for a fight. Sure, he gets 1, but it's going to take a Herculean effort for them to get back into this round in a more meaningful way. MOTM looking in upper tunnels. This one already feels like it's on map 3 here.
Can't help but agree, John. MOTM is going to have to just think about getting frisky around the smoke, but he can't afford to. Infinite is far away. Infinite looks towards Cat. He gets met by B-Wills. And this is just a formality at this point. SBE cannot hold on to enough of a strong lead here on Dust2. And Lag show us that they've got just a little bit more mental fortitude and energy, gas in the tank here to send us to a 3rd map. And while SBE are definitely formidable on that map, Lag are no strangers either.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, I agree. And they did beat Iowa Stormboar 13-4 on Nuke, and SBE were the other side for Lag. Slight had a really nice start to that Dust2, and then started to find his rhythm and really gain the advantage over Consti. So that's another duel that will be interesting to watch.
Certainly, and I think at our yard we'll be curious to see like how much work Cryptic can do, because again, I think he likes to put himself in that position to take those fights. And the onus is on SBE to contend with that kind of aggression, because as you saw in Dust2, when you give him that much space and you give him a little bit of support, this guy can be up there with some of the best riflers that we have in NA.
Well, let's see. Here we go. Final map of the series. The loser is out. The winner moves on the lower bracket, and Infinite will be the winner in that opening duel. Sandman's gone, and that opens up a clean path for SBE towards the B-bomb site. Cryptic waiting, can't get anything. Peeping will take his head clean off. B-Wills looking with the dualies, but he's watching the scoreboard and seeing that more of his teammates continue to fall, and he will, too, himself hit the dirt. DJ is the last to go down, and it's a clean sweep for SBE in round number 1.
That's exactly what you're looking for, a bite from SBE and this opening pistol. Just unbridled aggression, making sure to push the issue, and instantaneously just bouncing Lag out of that one. And you have a bit of an investment here from the CT side, a scout, a couple of pistols. It can be a dangerous purchase, don't get me wrong, but you've got 5 rifles breathing down your neck on the other side.
Yeah, this is not going to be easy for Lag, certainly. SB, yeah, there's the opener. Cryptic gone. No scout available anymore on their side. Just the Deagles and the P250, along with a couple of 5.7s. Peeping, looks around. Doesn't really see much of anything, but he's still going to throw the Molotov in for secret to ensure that no one can surprise him on what will likely be an A approach at this stage, just given the posturing. I say that, but they are flirting a little bit with ramp control as well, so we'll see where this actually ends up. There's still a lot of time left on the clock.
Definitely is. So Peeping will have his look outside. And Shane, meanwhile, will open the door in this ramp position, so should be able to go down the stairs pretty safely. Sandman is still there with this P250, but it's just a P250. Surely you can't get much out of him from this position. And he'll play the long game here. Eventually the double doors should swing open, and he should be able to maybe collect a kill and a gun. But there's a lot of shoulds in that statement, so we don't necessarily know if that will come true.
All right. Well, this round will end without much of a fuss. Lag. Okay, Simon could catch someone. And he does. And he gets a second. Maybe a third. No. Shane will get that last one. It's pretty expensive for SB, as all the players bought rifles into this round. But no one else will fall, so it's okay. They'll be able to get some drops over to Consi and MOTM, so they can get the full utility and the armor as well, as SB do indeed find that second one.
And with the second round being found, it should mean the third. Almost guaranteed at this point. Keeping... Looks good outside so far in that head-to-head against Cryptic. I think that'll be a very important matchup as this develops, as guns come out for both the sides. And of course, Slight and Consti and how they factor into that conversation as well with these longer range guns. There is a slight gap there for a moment. And nothing gets capitalized, but B will certainly will into the lobby. Oh my goodness, Consti playing with fire here. Has to give up that Galil, so early advantage to Lag, and there are threats around these corners here, John.
Indeed there are. SB is going to have to be cautious about their approach, and I like that little lobby crunch that Lag pulled off to gain control of it, but it's only the beginning of their attempt to try and overcome this SB squad in what is effectively an eco round for them. Slight looking for a follow-up with the scout. Whoa, a chance. Misses the chance, though. Cannot connect. Peeping. Tosses the Molotov in towards heaven, and someone's popped out, I think from Mini? I don't know. A little damage looked like it was taken there. But it's okay. Maybe I'm imagining things, but either way, 39 seconds left on the clock, and Shane will see that nade explode, but it does not connect with his person. Sandman waits in rafters. 30 seconds left. SB are really riding the clock down low, and Lag's got presence on both bomb sites.
Yeah, and now this third rotation comes downstairs. This plant is going to be a very difficult one at that. Molly comes up on the single door. They've really just got to keep their eyes out on double while they try to get this bomb down. But Cryptic has still found a little bit more impact. Sandman now hits the deck as well, so that's the Galil gone. For an MP7 to fill the void. But Scout has also fallen. Shane has done such a good job here. Huge double in the context of this round. And now Cryptic can't really get involved with that MP7. B-Wills will scoop it up. Maybe he'll have a little look-see to see if he can get some cash. But SBE have righted the ship courtesy of Shane.
Yeah, that's a pretty fortunate turn of events, the way that round started, with Lag finding both Consti and Infinite before this SBE squad was able to activate. And again, just an eco for them. So that would have been a pretty devastating round loss for SB if it happens. But like you mentioned, Shane saves the day. Still has not died in these opening 3 rounds. And has 7 kills to his name. As you're going to see the kind of back and forth that started once MOTM gets that first. And then Shane picks up the pieces. All right, round number 4 about to get underway. Don't forget, guys, that if you want a great PC, head on over to Lorgar. Another great thing for Lorgar is that they have very kindly provided the official tournament PCs for the StarLadder StarSeries Fall 2026, so a huge thank you to them for that. As Cryptic's going to get the opener here onto Peeping. Lag want to break that goose egg very quickly, but Shane has other plans. He sprays down DJ. Sandman will get the trade, but MOTM's on the site. He is dancing around here looking for more kills, and B-Wills can't track them! Oh my goodness, he should have had one there, and he gets nothing! MOTM does indeed find a 2K, and now they're going to back off in towards lobby. Lots of damage taken by MOTM and Consti, down to only 36 HP combined, but it is only Cryptic and Slight left on the other side, and Cryptic could be dead in a moment. He's walking into Consti's crosshair. Oh no! Cryptic has no idea, and Consti a freebie.
Huge work there from Consi to make sure that to shut the door. But man, oh man, that bait and switch setup in the back of the A bomb site, that should be multiple kills for one of those 2 players, and neither of them get enough to make a sustainable round out of it. And now Slight's got to save. This is calamity for Lag. They had the right read. I mean, this reminds me a lot of Inferno, to be completely honest with you, where they've got multiple people on the site where the hit's coming, and they just cannot put the mechanics together to win it out. SBE now slowly starting to rev back into this. You're starting to see some serious impact from Shane, and MOTM is having those multi-kill moments again.
Alrighty. So nothing doing on the buy round for lag. Like you said, MOTM. I mean, he has lived up to his name throughout this series as the man of the match. I would hand him the MVP, honestly, if they take this. Unless someone else makes a sudden surge upwards here on this SB squad on map number 3. But even if they did, it's just looking at the series as a whole, MOTM has been their most important player.
Absolutely. Lag now look to, I guess, try to make a ruckus with these pistols, because that's really all they'll have in terms of purchasing power. For SportsBetExpert, keeping that foot on the pedal. Actually, there's enough here for with max loss bonus to buy MP9 armor, so I actually have quite a bit around this saved AWP. I completely forgot about that. My fault. And now, stake odds, after just 4 rounds of play, lean SBE's way. But if you want to put your money where your mouth is, weekly reload available of $35. That $5 top up every day for the next 7 days using code STAR35.
All the smoke set up by SB. Cryptic's ahead of it. Oh, but it's being watched. Ooh. Cryptic needs to hold this angle carefully. Peeping's looking, and Cryptic will hit the shot, looking for another one. Spams through, does damage, but no kill. Consti gets an important trade for them to get some modicum of control here towards outside. Slight decides not to re-engage. He will back off into the site itself, and Shane will find B-Wills trying to get it on a flank.
That's so genius there from Shane. Too many times have I seen T-Roof players just have their eyes trained on the ladder. The wherewithal to go back and check the lobby flank was so paramount. That could have unraveled everything in that sequence there. So more impact there from your anchor. SBE now have themselves a man advantage. Don't have to push the issue. It's on the onus is on the CTs here to gather information. And as you can see, DJ trying to creep up these secret stairs isn't necessarily being watched for the time being, but DJ cannot capitalize. And now they'll move back into this A site where Slight is here to give a hell of a fight. Jiggling between angles though are these T's, and Slight just has too many bodies to whip back and forth to. And he goes down. It's all up to DJ, and they already know that he's downstairs. SB navigate another tough situation, and I got to give a lot of credit to the poise and collectedness that they have to navigate that mid-round there.
Yeah, the mid-rounds have been pretty strong, and I was criticizing SB for some poor mid-rounds in their earlier series, so for them to come through and do this is quite nice, of course. Continually ensuring that things don't fall apart when one thing goes wrong. 6th round of play. Here come the guns, though, again for lag. AWP in Slight's hands, who was a key piece on Dust2, but so far only 1 kill in 5 rounds. I need some more from him. Cryptic is always pretty solid, honestly, in terms of the rifling, which is kind of crazy considering he plays really mechanically well as the IGL, which isn't usually the case. He's doing it on a consistent basis, so it's not like it's a fluke.
So it looks like a flash straight through this ramp smoke. B-Wills has an opportunity at a couple. He does find the dink on the second, but Shane, important trade. Huge kill from Peeping on the lurk on door. We'll move back over into this B site. Players rotating up into A, unfortunately. The wrong decision there. It leaves Cryptic on an island here on B. And all of a sudden, Slight now has to rotate down. He's taken way too long going the long way. But DJ is also here, so these two are going to have to piece together a 2-on-3 B bomb site retake. I don't necessarily fancy their chances here, John, and I don't think they do either. They'll be backing away.
Yeah, they don't. They don't at all. They were hoping to get a fight there early on as they walked into those double doors. And when they saw nothing, they had to pull the plug. The money just isn't there to absorb the loss of both of these guns. So the AWP and the M4 will get saved through. You see on SBE, they've got plenty of cash, so they can try a chase here. Said they're going to be safer, maybe not. Slight holding the angle, misses the shot. He's dead. He's cooked. Yep, he gets the shot onto Consti, and actually that was a call out into Infinite's leg. Unlucky for Slight that it didn't end up being a chest shot, but either way, it is the op taken out of the hands of Lag, and that means they'll only get an M4 into this round, which you can't really justify a force by a round.
Well then, Lag really are pushed up against it now. 6th round on the T side of Nuke. That's fantastic if you're SBE. And you have the opportunity to chain together a couple more. This is not the best of buys. Instant Molly up into A. I don't necessarily know if it was meant for Tetris or just the middle of the site, but it still nails Hut and spreads over. They still mess with the setup that they have on that A site enough to cause a couple rotations upstairs and puts a lot of pressure for B-Wills to back away as well.
B-Will's waiting behind big box here in ramp, and he's going to have some company potentially soon as SBE are postured for this ramp take. 3 players are anyway. The other 2 are working outside, tossing smokes, looking to attract attention, maybe draw out a player to think about pushing into lobby. B-Wills is not going to move a muscle. Thing is, those smokes have done their job, right? Like, 4 players for Lag are leaning away from ramp room. If that was the plan for SBE, then good job on their end. But at the same time, look at 30 seconds left on the clock. They realize that, and now they have to just hit A, Paladin.
They certainly do. It's all the time that they have, but they're really running out of it. I mean, 18 seconds left on the clock. DJ will have to have his head on a swivel here, turning around and around, but 10 seconds, we've got to go at this point. Finally, Peeping can strike, he finds 2, and everything falls into place here. Slight can be that late surprise, but I mean, yeah, it all works out. I mean, it really hinges on Peeping. He's got to get those kills instantaneously. If he can't get at least a double there, that round is over.
That's a lot of pressure on his shoulders, right? Like the team saying, we're waiting for you to go for this flank up heaven. You found all this space. If you don't get the kills now, this round is over in a moment. So yeah, he gets both, and then they can just charge in, and everything goes absolutely perfectly because it has to. There was 10 seconds left on the clock. Checking out that ATK gear, though, is an important thing for you, especially considering there's a giveaway happening right now for 8 gaming mice. If you want to enter, scroll down into the description, click on the banner, the ATK banner, and enter that giveaway for your chance to win one of those awesome 8 mice. All right, Cryptic's can get the opener, and in fact, Slight got the opener. Cryptic gets the follow-up, and DJ will get traded out by MOTM. MOTM doesn't take much damage on engagement. That's what SB needed to try and find a way back into this round.
Oh, sustainable for sure. But there's Slight finding a multi. Can back away, and this is one of those rounds that has to be converted by Lag. 2 on 4. Ramp space is given over to Shane and Consti, but B-Will should have his whereabouts about him. Shane will try to continue this, but I don't necessarily know if they've got the time or the space to do this.
Okay, Shane gets Cryptic. 40 seconds left now. That opens up a little bit more map. B-Wills wants to peek out. Might not have been a bad idea, but he decides against it. Just holds the line. Consti around with the pistol. B-Wills kind of whiffs the spray, but he still manages to connect enough against Consti to get the kill. And now it's on to Shane, who drops down the vent. Slight's got the shot, but he misses. But he won't miss with the pistol. Pulls out the USP and finishes the job. 1 round finally available for Lag.
Well, SB had an opportunity there. Real dicey, but Lag still works it out in the end. And now, they'll try their hand. at trying to get back into this series. He brought back Dust2, but being down 7-1 on your CT side of Nuke is a whole nother beast. SB drop the outside smokes and a little bit of a timing, try to catch the CTs off guard here on this A site, but Cryptic and DJ, they get their vision back just in the nick of time. And with that, SB try to just throw something at the wall here on ramp and hope it sticks, but B-Wills is here to pick up the pieces, flashing for himself. Should have the chance at another duel, another fair duel here. It doesn't matter because his teammate in Cryptic has made the rotation over. These two players of Infinite and Consti are boxed in. This should be another lag round.
No, Eagles just got the spot onto Infinite. You're right. They're absolutely trapped. And Cryptic will get Infinite. B-Wills finds Consti, and Lag have all of a sudden strung two together with ease. So some concerns certainly on the SB side, but they've still got plenty of cash available. Infinite can drop for MOTM, and they'll have another full buy here. But should they lose this round, then things could start getting a little bit dicey in the economic department.
Okay, now looking to nade open this door. Maybe it's a little pacey. No, just the initial bits and bobs of utility to push Slight off the angle. It's actually an outer yard focused default here, as MOTM looks to play around the standard smokes, keeping right behind him. Now actually going to play around them, looking into the big garage. Cryptic, who has been a force in this series, who has pulled this team into some of these rounds as well, will have to come up big yet again. Looking towards door right now, but can also gather those sound cues coming from elsewhere. Oh, and spots out the barrel of MOTM. That's a nice thing to start things off, and Consti cannot hit the shot, so Cryptic gets information and a kill.
Sandman waiting beyond this Molotov for a chance to strike for another kill. 45 seconds left. SBE not going to let the clock run down this time, but the bodies are dropping anyway. Sandman will fell peeping in a 5v3 just like that. SBE. Have Shane moved in towards A? He's staring at top of hut, hoping that a player will walk into his crosser, and Infinite's just going to try and chase this fight. He knows Sandman's in this position. Shane gets one towards A. Ooh, but Infinite can't take out Sandman. You thought maybe if he gets that, they can start to pull together and get this bomb planted. Now B-Wills has taken up the space, and SB just don't have any time left. This is going to end up being a save, and a third round in a row for Lag.
Well, they're clawing back into this one, John. It's taken quite a tough task to get to this point, but they've been able to do it nonetheless. And they've kept up quite a number of players up each round. So they've got all this cash for rounds 11 and 12. So if they really do want those two rounds, certainly within touching distance. Stake odds haven't necessarily leaned the other way just yet, though. Still a 1-to-4 ratio. So if you want to get involved, that weekly reload of $35, as you saw on your screens, could be yours with code STAR35 to get involved in the action. SBE now, again, look towards this outer yard control. Want to go at Cryptic, who this time gets aggressive in his own regard, and MOTM doesn't really understand the angles there and how exposed he was to that sequence.
We'll get the spray down on Slight, and then Cryptic as well through the smoke. 4v3 for SB, just like that. Who would love an 8th round to give themselves a more comfortable lead heading into the second half of play. But now they're going to slow it up. Off of Peeping's heroics. Doubling back in towards lobby. 1 minute remains. There's still plenty of time for them to make their play. And they will end up going into ramp where no one is in the vicinity. B-Wills is alone on B right now. However, A ton of information is being gained by Sandman, as he's already in T-spawn. He's found nothing, so they have to know that it's almost certainly B.
They definitely do. And while they try to get down there, they're gonna have to hope that B-Wills can stand the test of time. Maybe up to bat initially, but looks at the Opper, gives the chance for the rest of the Riflers to combine. And that should be the round done and dusted. With how much bank balance that this lag squad has, you can definitely have a look-see. But it still feels like a nigh impossible task.
It does, yeah. They'll have to get a quick kill, and that's just going to run through the Molotov. Doesn't work at all. Infinite finds Sandman. Shane gets DJ, and SB do indeed get their 8th round after losing 3 in a row. But even then, you know, they built such a big lead that that 3-round win streak doesn't really mean much.
Definitely doesn't. And now, all of a sudden, 8-4 still looks bad. It's absolutely paramount that they're able to grab this, but I mean, from just a scoreline perspective, 9-3, 8-4, this is desperation station when we switch sides.
Let's see if Lag can get 4 to try and make it just that little bit closer. They did come back from a significant deficit on Dust2, right? So they've got it in them. But it would be better if they managed to get a little bit more before this half closes out, because this is leaning towards what happened more in Inferno than Dust2.
Great, well-placed mollies, but Shane is also having to deal with a molly of his own, but it doesn't matter because Peeping is just on a tear, man. He's just charged all the way outdoor on his own, found 2 heads, and found a 3rd on top. Slight now alone, last player standing in this impossible retake of the A site. He's found the lurking MOTM, but still 3 more bodies to find as well, and Infinite will top it off. 9 T rounds here for SBE.
All right, we're back and getting ready for the second half of play. As was the case on Inferno, it is full control for SBE as they're looking to close out this series and stay alive in the lower bracket.
This is really difficult for Lag at this point to get back involved into this series. It feels like their tournament lives are very clearly slipping, and it comes off the back of some fantastic performances from Shane, huge multi-kills in impactful anti-eco situations where things were going out of control, and also some insanely valuable multi-kills from Peeping in terms of the entering department as well. So SBE have really showcased that they've got a strong rifle core in front of them. But they've still got to finish the job. They've still got to put this one over the finish line, and Lag have one real opportunity here to get back into it, and it starts with this pistol. I mean, this is essentially 11 rounds on the table for SBE if they can convert this, and Peeping, again, will stay outside to deal with this initial contact, but doesn't like what he sees, will back away, continue to utilize this range that he has as much as possible. And while all that is happening, Infinite will do his own great work with the USP from Mini.
This is fantastic already for SBE. Peeping has chimed in as well. DJ and Cryptic, the last two available, and Peeping puts Cryptic 6 feet under. DJ will follow the same fate. Peeping, a 3K 15 on the board here on Nuke. Since Dust2, he has really awoken here for this squad. Dust2 was in a losing effort, but now up 10-3. They are very happy that Peeping has found his form, and Shane as well, sitting at the exact same scoreline.
That feels like one of the last moments of chance and opportunity here for Lag. He will be knocking on the door of an advancement here in this North American Closed Qualifier for StarSeries StarLadder Fall 2026. Got a lot more Counter-Strike to come. Of course, we've got Marsborne and Regain later on tonight after this BO3. And tomorrow we've got NRG Voca, which could be another thrilling matchup for sure.
Question. Well, right here, this matchup may be over soon, as, well, Lag are in it. Whoa! I spoke too soon. Cryptic just gets three, and then Slight finds Infinite with an M4 picked up off the ground. Cryptic is gone, but it's a 1v1. Peeping lower HP than Slight, but he's got the armor. Slight will suffer from aim punch if he takes any damage, but Peeping's down to 29. What has Cryptic just done? That was a wild play out of nowhere when it felt like SB were just going to cruise to the finish line. There is a bit of a problem for Slight, and that is that he doesn't have the bomb. So he's going to have to try and recover that, so it does give a slight advantage to Peeping. No pun intended. It's Peeping. Sees the leg, hits the shot, and saves the day for SBE. That would have been an insanely important round victory for Lag, but they can't get it.
I mean, how frustrating does that have to be for Cryptic, where you find 3 kills with the Deagle, you get your team into a one-on-one, and it just doesn't go your way. That's just got to be just the toughest thing as a leader, to kind of just shrug that off your shoulders and say, hey, next round, guys, next round. And of course, we do also have to give a shout out to Lorgar, the official StarSeries PC. We will see in those main events just a short bit of time, but this is it. This is the last opportunity really for Lag to get back into this map of Nuke. Otherwise, it's goodbye Lag. It's hello SportsBetExpert for that lower final appearance.
See, can't get anything but Peeping rocks a 2K through the smoke. Sandman and Cryptic erased. 4v3 in favor of SBE. Lag cannot believe what has just transpired after getting an opening kill. Peeping strikes again. 18th and 19th frags on the board. And then a 20th. The 20 bomb is here. B-Wills, his latest victim. Slight and DJ trying to put the pieces together, but they're on opposite sides of the map. They'll have to find a way to group up before either of them falls, and also find kills along the way.
How in the world you piece this one together? EJ will try his hardest to get down the stairs here. Slight has already made his way into the vents. But here's where things get real tricky. How do you find that opening entry? There's a UMP to his left here for DJ, and he'll find that. But he's still got to deal with MOTM. 15 seconds left on the clock. How are you going to safely plant that bomb? Double will now swing over in a moment's time, and Slight is able to defend against that. Shane and Peeping now have to do it all on their own, but what a shot from Shane. The two highest performing players of SBE now locked into a 2-on-1 versus Slight. The lineup could be there, and the position is found. It's all up to Shane, but Slight stands tall, goes positive, and gives a little bit of breathing room here for this side of lag.
That is absolutely wild that he's able to recover in that round in a 2v4. Like, we have to give them a lot of credit. They managed to group up, got together, got the kill along the way. After that happens, this 3K from Peeping, and while Shane does make a good effort for it, Peeping and himself cannot deal with Slight's power position from Upper B. All right, well, a fourth found for lag, and money's not great on the side of SBE. They're forcing up, but it only yields an A1S, a scout, and 3 pistol upgrades. Nade's gonna sail out. They're trying to bait lag into peeking towards Hut, where MOTM is waiting, but there's only one player on the other side, that's V-Wheels, and he's just here to toss some util. There goes Consti. Slight finds him through the smoke. And already a 5v4 for lag as they're trying to surge upwards and back into this match.
Shane and MOTM will look into be going aggressive here in lobby alongside their teammates, and meanwhile Peeping is still fragging up a storm. He was just spotted, but he still finds a kill, so man advantage retained, and MOTM will try to refill that void, but he can't do anything. Peeping still again, yeah. He's still cooking with gas. And Peeping will look for even more. He does have Slide on the around the corner, and he's gotten up to 23 kills. Shane now will hit the deck. It's all up to Peeping. He needs an ace clutch, and he finds the quad. Just needs another one, and he absolutely will. Peeping finds everything. The rifler that we've wanted and craved for so long has finally returned.
That is absurd. That's the only rifle they have in the round, and Peeping's like, it's all we need, folks. Nothing else. The star has landed here, and it is Peeping with 127 dart to boot. 12-4 off of that man's shoulders. And the stake odds, as you would expect, heavily favoring SBE. And if you want that weekly reload of $35, well, all you got to do is deposit $20, use code STAR35, and then you'll enjoy a daily $5 top-up for the next 7 days. No grinding, no gimmicks, just a steady reload all week long. All right, this could be it for lag. A round lost in the previous one that really shouldn't have been, but also Peeping played his heart out. Here comes lag. They're going fast. Fast and furious potentially towards this A site. At least it looked like it. And then the counter utility has pushed them back a little bit. 2 AKs, a couple of pistols, and an MP7 to fight for their lives here in this closed qualifier. We might be saying goodbye to them in 1 minute and 25 seconds, though.
We'll see how much work this auto shot he can do if they do come ramp, and they're definitely considering it. Definitely good for one at this point. Now Consti made the rotation over. Yeah, this is huge. Shoulder peeks it, so Infinite does have all the bait and switch in his favor. That nade is very solid, softens up more of these players to this auto shotty, and now it gets announced to everyone on the server. Infinite will find one and a second as well. Consti does lose another one of his bodies, but here comes a flank here from Shane, boxing in lag.
Oh.
66 HP on the other side between elimination and advancement for SBE.
And off of that Salmon and Slight back off. Their health's not good. This is a bad situation. Shane's waiting on the other end. There's one, only one. Slight gets the trade, so now a 1v2 clutch on the cards. He pulled one off before. Can he do it again? 18 seconds left, though, to plant the bomb, and look who's waiting above. It is Consti. This one's over. Consti's got it, and SBE will move on the other side, though. Lag, well, we have to say goodbye to them, Paladin. They have played their hearts out. They pushed us to a 3-map series, but it wasn't enough at the end that was left in the tank.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to me, SBE